As I'm writing this, it's only just been over 2 days since I've started working on this video. So far I've got most of the intro done, which is by far my best work in terms of quality, but since I'm not a 2D animator, I had to use Paint.net, which is what I used to make my thumbnails. So to make the pumpkin animations, I first had to create a grid to select pumpkins easier. Then I added all the pumpkins, and finally I created each frame by moving the pumpkins, which, as you could guess, was a pain. This idea of pixel art actually originated from an old scrapped video. I first thought about using stop motions and post-it notes for the intro, which was ultimately scrapped. In order to make this cool line spreading effect, I went through many iterations. Here's the original design I had in mind, but since I'm still not a 2D animator, I went with the other option of coding it instead. And since I suck at coding, I used AI. I'm not a fan of AI, but sometimes that happens. Here are all the unused versions of the animation, by the way. And the one I ended up using works as a tiny simulator, where you can rewind, pause, speed up time, and reset. For the Minecraft clips I've got so far, it's just the dummy worlds, as I call them. That just works to transition between stuff. They won't serve a purpose, it just looks flashy and more polished. I've got some parts of the story done, but mostly just ideas. Today I'll mostly try to get the story done and make all the remaining important maps. I'm currently making many filler branches. Basically I'm creating worlds that won't be shown for more than a few seconds in the video. During the last few days, I've improved the story. I found some neat new plot points and made some promotional stuff that I'll post later. I also got the very first world gameplay, which isn't long but was interesting enough to be talked about. I spawned on an island surrounded by lava, which is the first branch shown in the video. I thought starting with this one would be great, as it's the more intense of the 4 starter branches. But since the intro was editing heavy, just putting gameplay itself looked boring. So I had to think about a way to transition better. And I ultimately ended up adding those glitches throughout the segment. It doesn't look like much, but it really feels so much faster paced with those. Now off script for the little backstory. There were some worlds that I made, like the reconstructing world. I believe this one was meant to be a world where stuff that you don't look at becomes different. I even made it in game, which isn't as cool as it sounds, but I never ended up using it. It was meant to be the branch you see after the no RNG tower thingy branch. Then there was the chaotic endless mess world that I scrapped, which is just a world where there's stuff that happens all the time and it's basically just extremely chaotic. Oh, and by the way, there was that other scrap branch that still kind of exists. So in the intro, at the very beginning, you see a volume warning. And that was because right after escaping the lava world, I was meant to not end up in the sort of tower without RNG. It was meant to teleport me to a white room with nothing but an armor stand, an end portal gate block, and extremely loud sounds. And as the video would go on, you'd see me just slowly lose it over this room. But I didn't use it because I thought that'd just be so freaking boring. Back from a week of school and I've recorded a few gameplays, but mostly the sub-branch ones. I've also been figuring out where I want the story to go and decided to add a huge part where I end up in a branch which is a replica of the intro. No, that was a quick day, there isn't much else to say. Off script there was another scrapped world, which is a pumpkin seed world, which was meant to be sort of similar to the Vine idea, where there'd be infinite branches being made all the time. And you can still see this world in the intro. It was actually really meant to be in the video. But at the last second, I switched to add the horror one instantly. This one was meant to be part of the lava world, and there was gonna be way much, okay? There were gonna be like 6 starter branches back then. Now there's 4, because I feel like that's just more logic. Almost 3 weeks in, and I've just decided to expand the story. I'm done with most of the editing for the stuff I've recorded, and I feel like the story needs a second wave. So I've got a pretty crazy plot twist, which is that the me who's doing the voiceover is actually just another one of those anomalies from the branches. That means anything said in the voiceover can be true or false, as it's not something conscious. So for example, you the viewer get to choose if you wanna believe in the end speech, or even the video's concept as a whole, since everything was explained in the intro by the voiceover. And to expand the story, I made it so that the me swimming ends up dying, and that resets everything back to the intro. It's something that's actually somewhat possible in real life with quantum physics, just not to this degree. Now off script again, there's all of that to say. So just as I said, Act 2 was never meant to happen. It was actually gonna end, well, here it's explained. It was actually gonna end with the plan that I made where I would sink back all of the branches into one with the water bucket. I never ended up using this ending because I felt like it was way too quick. I didn't want the video to have a sort of good ending. I didn't want an ending that was bad or good. I just wanted an ending that would be logical for the video. Now, oh, that's a good one here. So like 1 week before finally finishing the video, the Vine Climb branch recording was entirely corrupted. Out of nowhere, I couldn't play it, and it just didn't work at all. That happened for another file, which now plays a music that I don't remember downloading, which is really creepy. It sounds like an energy. It's not. Here's the file. And then Premiere Pro just like create a sort of glitch at the end of it. It's really weird, but I did manage to get most of the footage back using Untrunk. Then I used Handbrake to repair the compression type. Then I used Premiere Pro to combine the audio from Untrunk and the Handbrake compression to get the visuals back. That all was such a pain. That's why at 350 you see sort of glitch. That's not meant to happen, but I just kept it because it looks cool, I guess. And that means that all of the Minecraft sounds from that part are added manually. So sometimes you'll just hear nothing when I'm climbing vines. Most of the sounds are from the Phantom fights. Oh, also that's cool. That's a cool one. So in the second act, the horror branch wasn't meant to be in a theater. It was meant to be me in the same map, but from the other stone guy POV. So you would have seen everything from his POV and even where he ended up when he just left and disappeared. Sadly, I didn't keep it because it was way too confusing and off topic for the video. Oh, there's also a backstory. Hold on. I actually thought of making a video about quantum physics a while back, but back then the idea was that I would lose if I beat the Ender Dragon. There was also a subplot throughout the video where I was stuck in this box using the immersive portal mod. I think I got it. I think I got it. Woohoo! That's a wrap! That's a freaking wrap right here. That's a wrap! Ending! Let's go! Let's go! That's a wrap! Oh my gosh, if this video flops, I'm gonna be so freaking mad. It is gonna flop, but oh gosh, this is over. What a ride! Oh my gosh! Yes! Gosh! Wait, denied! If I dig down and then let the zombies burn, I won't see them burn. I mean, I won't see their loot. What the fuck? What? What? Huh? What? Nothing in here? On va faire tout ça. Oh. Ah, shit. What? Et putain, mais j'ai encore oublié. Je suis trop con. J'ai oublié le truc.